Alright guys, so back again. My Forest Expedition 07. I still have this tires, obviously. I'm still doing a test on it. Hasn't been in the first oil change, not yet. Still pretty damn well on the thread on it. Hasn't been crazy. It definitely feels a lot better though. But I don't know if I ever did a how to install an intake on my truck on these Forest Expeditions. I got this one out of eBay. It came with a box with a little rubber seal, the intake, the tubing. It's a pretty easy step to do. There is like a OEM spider that bolts here that you have to take it out in order to get to the throttle body. Once you get to the throttle body, you put a 90 elbow and then the piping, you put the sensor, and then clamp everything back together. It's pretty simple, straightforward. The only issue that I had with my car, other than the fuel pump, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows about it, it's also the fact that the power steering started leaking out of nowhere, out of the blue. Started leaking, and I added some of it, and it kept on leaking. So I did notice an oil leak underneath the battery side, by the floor, not by the floor, but under the car itself. It was just pattering. I saw it wet a little bit, so came down to conclusions. It was the power steering fluid started leaking. And basically what it is, and I think it happens to every Forest Expedition, on the radiator, I don't know if you can see in there, but on the radiator, that's a AC condenser, but behind that is a radiator. And actually, no, let me correct that. That's the AC condenser. And on the outside edge of the AC condenser, it's like a small radiator look type of, which is not, I don't think it even does anything, but it's supposed to cool off the power steering fluid. And when it breaks off, Ford, I guess, wants you to get an actual AC condenser in order to keep running your power steering fluid through it so that it doesn't overheat, apparently. Well, guess what? I went to Advanced Auto Part. I got myself an aftermarket universal transmission cooler. I did some cheap brackets in there, as you can see. I still haven't painted that one or replaced it, but so I bolted that. That's a pretty big size. I wish I could have probably put this one for the transmission cooler, but well, this one's working so far. So I ran the lines, I don't know if you can see that, straight into the OEM lines. I did have to use a little extension from a copper tubing in order, to keep on feeding the line. But yeah, I did have to do this job. I did have to take out the bumper and the grill on one piece. You have to take this cover, it has this little plastic clips on it, pops off. The bumper, it does have a few bolts here and two underneath here on the inside, 10 millimeters that they bolt down and squeeze the fender to the bumper itself. I did that on both sides. And then you have to, underneath of the bumper, on the bottom here, somewhere in the bottom, there's like little brackets that they hold up. They hold up the bumper. And yeah, so basically you unscrew all that. You take your fog lights off if you have them. You don't have to take them out of the bumper. You just gotta unplug them, and everything comes out. And then once you have all of that done, then you start setting up your cooler, your radiator. And basically the main reason why I put it on this side of the grill is basically because the transmission is on the skinny one. I don't know if you see if you can focus and see that. See that skinny? The skinny one is the transmission cooler, and that one, it dies right around here. It's really probably about that, you know, that tall, skinny. It dies about there, so I didn't want to cover that one, and so I put it on this side, and it's working fine so far. It hasn't leaked or make any weird noises on the power steering at all. But yeah, I just figured to, you know, give some heads up to people. Once you see it leaking on the floor, it usually leaks on this side. At least that's why I noticed that it was leaking on this side on the bottom of the radiator, and it was my power steering liquid. See, other than that, I did have to change this hose here. This is a heater hose that goes into the cab, and they do break right here. Right here they break, and yeah, so I did get it on time. I was getting a little bit of sputtering, misfiring on the engine because the water was dropping right into the cylinder, to the spark plug. So as soon as I fixed that, I cleaned it all out, and everything started working fine again. But so far so good. No other issues with it so far. I do want to make it a little bit of a zombie, more beefier look to it. I'm planning on getting probably about a 3-inch lift, just to raise it up a little bit. Probably put a little cargo rack on the top, some LED lights or light bar. Probably on the grill I'll try to hide a little 24-inch or a 20-inch light bar. But other than that, she still runs awesome. Can't complain. I mean, can't complain about this thing. This thing will go forever. Has 164,000 miles already. But she's a beauty, I'll say. But yeah, any questions? Pretty much, I guess, there's little bugs that, you know, these Ford Expeditions they come with, and they're expensive to fix if you go to a shop. But let me know. I kind of went through quite a few of them already. And that Aintek, man, that Aintek, you have to get it. It makes it, well, I mean, it sounds like a cop car when they stepping on it. It's pretty badass. But yeah, any questions, just let me know. Obviously, subscribe to the channel, that'll be great. Just keep on following a little bit at a time. I'll be making this thing a little bit more off-road equipped, just to make it look a little bit more even, because right now to me it's just a little bit too girly to my taste. But it's definitely getting there. Beefier tires that it has on right now, and yeah, I don't know if you can see the thread on that, but it's like an all-terrain thread, which is pretty deep. I already have a video on those, and can't complain. Those are the Wild Peak all-terrain from Falken, and so far so good. But yeah, let me know any questions. I'll be happy to answer, and how to do the intake and all that stuff. Alright guys, subscribe and just follow up and see what's up. Later.